On September 11, 2025, Bethan Hardison, activist, asked Yara Shahidi, activist, in a Forbes interview on how she felt about her world right now. Yara answered honestly by saying she's terrified and would like a plan to fix it. I empathize in that no one should live in fear. In my opinion, this sounds like a plea for help. I want to help, but how? When Yara Shahidi was younger, she did an equality speech on October 19, 2018 at the Gleason Respect Awards. I argue the speech is the hypothesis to fix her world and to reduce her fear. In April 2024, I published my book on Amazon based on this hypothesis, showing that prevention will lead to equity and that equity will lead to equality. This hypothesis will fix the political, economic, and social problems in her world and our world. This nonprofit, non-edited channel is a letter to Yara Shahidi teaching Yara's hypothesis to the public in order to better our world. In the end, Yara Shahidi will get the Nobel Peace Prize for her hypothesis. Dear Yara Shahidi, Chapter 7, Why Fast Food? I have two sisters, and this sister is not my niece's mother. This sister is what my mom called the natural. What this means, according to my mom, is that my sister was gifted with brains, beauty, social skills, street smarts, popularity, etc. My mom said that life came easy to the sister because she was gifted. For myself and my niece's mother, we had to struggle a bit in life. For example, my niece's mother developed cognitive difficulties growing up, but she had developed great social awareness and had sound judgment in particular matters. As for me, my mom swears growing up I had Asperger's syndrome because I had a hard time socializing and communicating. From my perspective, not edited, I did have a hard time growing up, and I was always shy. I was also bullied a lot. I didn't like being judged by people, so I didn't really socialize or communicate well with other people. I have never been tested professionally for Asperger's syndrome or anything within the autistic umbrella. I wouldn't be surprised if I did have a disorder within the autistic umbrella if I was tested. As mentioned before, I do have a speech impediment. When I'm stressed, I stutter over my words, and it is really hard for me to get a word out of my mouth. When I am relaxed, I'm fine and words just flow out. If I am around a girl, one that I find attractive, I can't talk to her at all. I'm almost as bad as Rajesh Kuthrapali from the Big Bang television show. As a person growing up, I didn't have many friends because I didn't know how. I was never trained, so I couldn't communicate well enough to make any. This left me a lonely kid growing up. To escape my loneliness, I would escape by watching a lot of television. In elementary school, I would run a mile with a full backpack filled with books for homework instead of taking the bus in order to not to miss my favorite shows like DuckTales, He-Man, Transformers, and Star Trek. Even though I knew the shows by heart in reruns, it didn't matter to me because I was obsessed with watching them over and over and over again. A lot. When a person like me does this for a couple of decades, the real world doesn't seem pleasant anymore, and real people become a nuisance, especially to me. In other words, I started hating people because they didn't act or behave like they did on television. In television, a solution was developed and executed brilliantly by the hero, and everybody laughs at their jokes. This type of television thinking gave me pleasure, and I didn't understand it at the time why I would give that up. In the real world, the bad guy wins, problems never get solutions, and nobody laughs at your jokes. This is why I stuck with television. The real world for me was all doom and gloom, but this is what I thought for years. The funny thing was, I actually went to college so I could watch television instead of working a 9-to-5 job. In college, I broke out of my shell because I really became lonely. It was just me. I think I just had television fatigue. I solved the mystery before the show ended. I knew when to laugh before the joke happened. The shows lose their luster after watching the same shows again and again. When I was a kid, I didn't care. I was just so excited to watch my shows. As an adult, I wanted something more, so I forced myself to make friends and date girls. I wanted to experience life for once. I started watching television less. In my mind, I became normal. While in college, I wanted to change the world by solving its problems. I know I had the smarts to do it, but I didn't know where to start. In order to do that, I began isolating myself again. When I finally got out of college, I had developed a snobbish personality. I thought people weren't as smart as me. I really didn't like myself. I knew I could improve my behavior, so this is why I started working in fast food. In fast food, the work is very repetitive. Oh my God, it's repetitive. I work for minimum wage, and sometimes there's no challenge to the job, but I do get to know the people. There is nothing wrong with people working in fast food. It is noble and profound profession for everyone It is noble and profound profession for everyone who wants to do it. As I write this portion of the paper, I'm still working in fast food. So I published my book in 2024, and I was still working fast food then. The point of all this is to grow empathy for the people I work with. I need to be less of a butt, as my niece would say. I know I might be the smartest book learner here at the restaurant, but I'm far from the best worker. I am a slow worker, but efficient, to be fair to myself. There are workers at my restaurant that are faster than me at tasks, more responsible than me, and more patient than me with customers. With these people, I have learned to appreciate them more. With these people, I have learned to appreciate them more because I can learn from them. They guide me to being a better employee and also a better human. I had developed empathy toward them and became less of a butt. This showed me that we are all humans trying to make it in this world, no matter who you are or where you come from. So when I was writing this book in 2019, I was still writing it. I wrote it from 2019 to 2024, and I was working fast food that whole time. Once I understood the fast food dynamic, I then applied the same strategy toward my sisters. As my niece would say, I was being a butt to them as well. She said all I needed was some empathy toward them. In retrospect, I consider myself a better book learner than them. My niece's mother, on the other hand, has better social skills than me. Actually, she cleans my clock when it comes to social skills. For example, she can talk to people with ease, while I struggle to say one word to anyone. That's so true. That's so true. She can make friends on a whim, while I grapple with trying to find a girlfriend. She has developed a skill that I can't do, which shows she can teach me on how to be a better person. Plus, she has had 4 kids and is a very dedicated parent. If I ever need friend advice, or if I ever decide to have kids, I will seek her counsel. With my other sister, the natural, she has very good artistic skills. She has great taste. For example, she decorates her house with all the latest styles and colors. She is really respectable at putting a room together to make it comfortable for family or just a friend. I thought her taste would diminish after her divorce was finalized a decade ago, but it didn't. It was a skill she acquired and has honed it ever since. Plus, she thinks about the past a lot and has a great memory on events from my past that I have forgotten about. For example, she just bought a tent trailer for her and her daughter to go camping in. Well, I had forgotten that I went camping in a tent trailer too when I was young. My sister wants her daughter to experience camping like we did as kids. She thought it was fun when we were kids, and she wants to pass that down to her daughter. It's really cool that she did that. Since I have been working fast food, I've gained empathy toward my fellow coworkers and family. But I also realized that each one of them brings a talent or a piece of smarts, so to speak, to the table that I can't do. Each one is teaching me something that I couldn't appreciate in the past. In this understanding of humanity, this is how I'm going to win the bet, by putting individual skills into a capitalist adventure, sorry, not edited. I know I have been writing a lot on my growth, and it is wonderful, but I know I have been writing a lot on my growth, and it is wonderful, but I do have a lot of learning still to do. Oh God, yes, so much. I am better, but like an alcoholic, this is going to plague me for the rest of my life. I have good days where I'm really empathetic toward people, and then I have bad days where I am really a butt. I'm a work in progress. I so am. Oh my God, I'm so am. Yes. I know fast food has helped me understand myself better, but I cannot do this job for the rest of my life. I cannot retire off minimum wage. You can't. You just can't. The funding is too inadequate to do that. Whatever I pick for my next job, I hope I learn as much as I did in fast food. So true. It was, yeah. It's a good job. So, Ichni Sanshi Go, Kuju, Konnichiwa, Lalun Wiwi, Hola Buenos Dias, Adios, we all win together, de nada.